Hello guys, good morning and welcome to Exampur. Good morning everyone. In today's session we are going to discuss chapter number 3 of class 6 NCERT of the geography subject. Okay. As you know, we are discussing the NCERT of the geography and we have covered the two chapters of the class NCERT, class 6 NCERT of the geography. And today we are going to discuss the third chapter of this book, and the name of the chapter is the motion of Earth. The name of the chapter is the motion of Earth. So you should know about the what is the motion of the what is the movement on the motion of the Earth, and what are the consequences of that motion, and how this type of the motion of Earth is important for us, and how the phenomenal change occurring on the Earth due to this motion. Okay, so in today's session we will discuss the third chapter of the class 6 NCERT, that is the motion of Earth. Motion of Earth, and this motion is a very important phenomena, which is result many which has many consequences on the Earth's surface, and you can say we are living on the Earth. Earth is a habitable planet because of this type of the motion. So there are many changes. There are many changes like the seasonal changes. There are day-night changes in the day-night. All the things are happening due to this type of this motion. Okay, so we should know what is the importance of this motion, and how this motion is occurring on the Earth. This motion is happening in the Earth. So motion of Earth. What is the meaning of this type of the motion of Earth? Initially, you know about that when we study about the origin of Earth, we studied that Earth was initially in the phase of the gaseous stage. Okay, Earth was in the gaseous phase, and after a certain time period, after a long time period, Earth started to cool down, and as Earth started to cool down, the stage of the Earth, or you can say that from the gas, Earth changed into the liquid, and then after change, at the present time, Earth is in the form of the solid, liquid, as well as gas in the mixer form of the all these stages. So in today's Earth, if we talk about the today's Earth, we can find the some gaseous amount of the matter which is found on the Earth, some matter which is found in the form of the liquid, and some matter is also found in the form of the solid. So initially Earth was completely gaseous in the gaseous stage. After a certain time, gas plus liquid, and the present time, liquid plus solid plus gas. All the three stages are found on the in the Earth. Okay, when Earth started to cool down, the gaseous material started to condense, started to store at a particular place, then there is a movement started due to the celestial gravitational forces, and that spinning is called the rotation. That particular spinning, which is developed due to the celestial gravitational forces, which are implemented on the Earth's body, or you can say the body of the Earth, and then this spinning is called the rotation. And due to the impact of the solar gravitational force, due to the impact of the solar gravity, you can say, Earth started to revolve around the sun, and that is a movement that is in which the Earth is revolving around the sun. That particular movement is called the revolution. So basically, there are two type of the motion which is occurring on the Earth's surface. That is, first one is the rotation, and the second is the revolution. And this rotation and revolution, this motion, that is, one is the rotation and another is the revolution. This motion has many consequences. So we should know about these consequences one by one. Revolution. Okay. So what is the meaning of the? So you should know. Firstly, you clear it. There are two type of the motion. One is the rotation and another is the revolution. Earth perform two type of the motion. Okay, basically. What is the meaning of this rotation, and why? What are the consequence? What are the result of this rotation and revolution? So rotation, this rotation is derived from a word that is the rotate. Rotate. What do you mean by the rotate? Rotate means if any object is moving, if any movement is happening with an object at its axis or at their axis, this type of the movement is called the rotation. If anybody command me that rotate, then I will rotate, I will turn at my particular place. Without change in the place, I will change my direction. Okay, so I will change my direction. So what is the meaning of the rotation? Rotation means if any object is changing the rotation, changing the direction on its own place without changing in the place, then the such type of the motion is called the rotation, or the such type of the such type of the movement is called the rotation or the rotate. So if anybody command to any person to rotate, that means the person should not change the place and the person should change only the direction. If the direction is changing but place is not changing, then is this type of the phenomena is falls under the rotation. So in this rotation, only change in the direction, not in the change in the direction, not in the place. Okay, no change in the place. So there is a no change in the place, or you can say in the rotation only change change in the direction on its axis. You can say a technical word, you can use this technical word, on its axis. So if any object is moving on its axis without change in the direction, without change in the place, then such type of the movement is called the rotation. Okay, so another word that is terms as the revolution. So what is the meaning of the revolution? Revolution is basically derived from, you can say, a revolve word. What is the meaning of the revolve? You always, when you learned about the revolve means, what is the meaning of the revolve? Revolve means change of any object, change in any object, if any object change its direction as well as the place and around any center of the point. If any object is moving around any center of the point, that means if object is moving, the direction will change and the place is also changing with the direction, then such type of the movement is called the revolution. So what is the revolution? Revolution is the movement in which any object is moving around any center of object or this any central object and change its direction as well as its place, then this type of the movement is called the revolution. So in the revolution, there is a two important thing, that is change in the direction is also happening, direction is also changing, as well as the place is also changing. That means object is not located on its own axis, or object is located on its axis, but change axis is also moving around any object. So revolution is always happening, revolution is always happen around any object. Okay, around any center. Okay, so revolution, what is the revolution? You should know about the what is the revolution. Revolution is the movement, or the revolution is the movement of the earth in which earth is revolving around the sun. Earth is revolving around the sun. So sun is the center place, center point, and earth is moving around the sun. Then such type of the movement is called the revolution. So revolve means, if anybody command me that revolve. So I will ask around which. If I want to revolve, around which? If you go to any temple, then you started to revolve around any temple, in which in Hindi it is called the parikrama. So if you started a parikrama, then there is a center point. That means the idol of the god is the center point, and around that idol you started to revolve. So this type of the movement is called the revolution. Such type of the movement is called the revolution. So first is the rotation and another is the revolution. Okay, I think the literally meaning, there is no confusion between these two words. What is the rotation and the revolution? Now, you can implement in the context of the earth, and we will discuss this thing in independently, one after one. when Earth is moving around the sun, when the Earth is moving around the sun into a fixed path, that is called the revolution. When Earth is moving on its axis, then such type of the movement is called the rotation. So rotation and revolution both are the different, and both have the consequences on the Earth's surface. Both has a large impact on life on the both have the large impact on the life of the Earth. So Earth is made a habitable planet because of the one factor. It is also one factor is this motion is also responsible for the uh, uh, you can say this type of the motion, or this motion is also responsible to make Earth as a habitable planet. Okay, so it is also one factor. So you should know about this motion of Earth. So first motion is the rotation. First motion of the Earth is the rotation. So what is the actually meaning of the rotation? Suppose this is the Earth. This is the Earth. So this point is the northern. If this point is the northern point of the Earth, this is the North Pole, and this is the southern point of the Earth. This is the southern pole, South Pole. An imaginary line which joins the North Pole to the South Pole through the center. An imaginary line which joins the North Pole to South Pole through the center. This imaginary line is called the axis. This line is called the axis of the Earth. Okay, this line is called the axis of the Earth. And due to the celestial impact, you can say Earth started to move on its axis. Earth started to spin. Okay, you can use the word spin. Earth started to spin on its axis, and this spinning is called the rotation. And the direction of this spinning is from west to east. That means Earth is moving on its axis in from west to east direction, and you can say this is as the anti-clockwise. The direction of the west to east is also termed as the anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise direction, Earth is started to move. Earth is moving on its axis from west to east direction. Okay, anti-clockwise direction. So what do you mean by the rotation? So rotation is basically the movement of Earth around on its axis. Movement of Earth on its axis is termed as the rotation. Okay, what is the meaning? What is the direction of the rotation? So you should know about the you should know that the anti-clockwise direction. Earth is moving into the anti-clockwise direction, and it is also termed as the in the form of the west to east. It could be a question, west to east direction. Okay, and Earth take 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds duration to complete one rotation. That means Earth to take one this duration to complete one rotation or one spin on its axis. So complete one rotation, or you can say to Earth spin on its axis, or completed one spin on its axis in the duration of 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds. Okay, so in this duration it completes one rotation, and it is approximately 24 hours, and that is why we consider the 24 hours as a one rotation, and one rotation is the sum of the duration of the day and night of any particular place for a one single day or single night. Okay, single day and single night. Duration of the single day and single night completed one rotation. Okay, so 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds complete Earth completes one rotation, and this is called the solar day. Okay, so this is the rotation, this is the duration, and this is the direction of the rotation. What are the consequences of the rotation and what are the consequences of the direction? What are the impact of the direction, rotation's direction on the events, or you can say the phenomena that are happening on the Earth's surface. So if any object is moving on its axis and it is located in the solar system, so suppose here if it is the solar system, this is the sun. If it is the sun and sun rays releases the sunlight, and this is the our Earth. Okay, so the part of the Earth which is in the part of Earth which is in the front of the sun, it gains the solar radiation, it gains the solar light, and that is why this part experience the day condition, and the opposite part of this which does not which is not in front of the sun, it is far away and at the back of the sun, this region does not experience the sunlight and this region experience the night condition. So here is the night and this part of the earth experience the day. And after some time, when this one rotation is, because rotation is continued, after some time this section of the night is come in the front of the sun, and then this section which is experienced at the night condition, after the certain time, after the some time period, this night place or the place which is experiencing the night, this will come in the front of the sun, and then this night place will experience the day, and the place which experiencing the day condition at the present time, after the certain time period, after the rotation, this place will move backward side, and this place, if this place move back side, then this particular place will experience the night situation. So day and night is happening due to the rotation. Only day and night not. It is not exactly, it is not appropriate that the day and night is happening due to the rotation. The change in the day and night, that means the place which is experienced at the present time day, that particular place will also experience the night due to the rotation. And that particular place which experience the night at the present time, that particular place also experience the day after a certain time period because of the rotation. If rotation is stopped, suppose if the rotation will stop, what will happen? The phase or the part of the earth which is in front of the earth, in front of the sun, is always remain in the front of the sun. Then this region or this part of the earth is always experience the day situation, and the part which is in the back side of the backside, this part is always experience the night situation. So day and night will also happen when the rotation would be stopped, but the change in the day and night will stop. So what will the consequence? What is the consequence of the rotation on the earth? So it is not the correct statement that the day and night is happening on the earth due to the rotation. Day and night would be also happen if the rotation would stop. Okay, if the rotation would be stopped, that means day and night would also be happen, because the one phase of the earth will also one part of the earth, or you can say that this segment of the earth will also in the front of the sun, and it always in the front of the sun. That means this region always experience the day condition. So day is happening, and this region is also experience the night condition. So day and night would be happen if the rotation would be stopped, but change in the day night will be stopped. So what is the exact statement should be? What is the exact statement? The exact statement that change in the day night will stop if the rotation would be stopped. Okay. So what is the consequence of the rotation? You should understand here, and I hope you understand this thing. So day and night, change in the day and night is happening due to the rotation. And what is the direction of the rotation? This is the west to east. If the earth is rotating from west to east, that means the eastern segment of any particular place, any country or any state or any continent, the eastern section of any particular place, any continent, country or any particular place will face the sun rays firstly. And that is why the sun rays firstly falls on the eastern segment of any landmass, and that is why we are considering that the sun is rises or the sunrise is always happen in the eastern section. And the last segment of any continent, that is the western part, that western part will face the lastly on the sun rays, and that is why the sun rays always falls in the last at the western margin of any continent or any country, and that is why sun always set at the western section. So if you consider that is the any country or any landmass, suppose this is the landmass, and this landmass is located on the earth's surface. After the rotation, this eastern section will face the sun rays firstly, and that is why this eastern section will experience the sunrise. And when this part will be moved, when this section or this western section will experience the sun rays lastly at the last, and that is why the sun set always in the western part of any continent or any country. So at the present time, sun rays we look the sun rays in the east due to the rotation of the earth. If we reverse the rotation, the direction of the rotation, then the sun rising will happen, or the sun rising will be experienced in the western section of any country or any continent, and the sunset will happen in the eastern margin. Okay, so due to the direction of the rotation, what is the result? You can say, note down it. Due to the rotation, change in day and night. Is happening, and due to the direction of the rotation, sunrise in east and sunset into west, into east and sunset into west. So if anyone ask you why the sun rises into east always, what is the reason behind this? Then the reason of this sunrise in the east is direction of the rotation. If we reverse the direction of the rotation, this phenomena will also reverse. Then the sunrises will happen into the west and the sunset will happen into east if we reverse the direction of the rotation. So this is the direction of the rotation. A big announcement today at the 10 p.m. At the IAS Pieces by Exampur YouTube channel. There is a present, you can say a present will reveal for you, would be revealed for you. That is on the today is the Hindi Divas. Today is the Hindi Divas. On the occasion of the Hindi Divas, we are going to reveal and present for you, and at the 10 a.m. on the IS Pieces by Example YouTube channel. So I urge you that all persons will present at this event, and you will get an important present for you, an important announcement for you, and that will useful for you. That would be useful for you, though. So you should go there. Okay. So हिंदी दिवस है, तो हिंदी दिवस के शुभ अवसर पर आपको एक शानदार उपहार दिया जा रहा है, तो आप सभी लोग वहां पर पहुंचो. ठीक है. सुबह 10 बजे आज IAS Pieces by Exampur YouTube चैनल पे वहां पर आपको एक बिग अनाउंसमेंट होगा. वो अनाउंसमेंट आपके लिए यूजफुल होगा. उस अनाउंसमेंट में आपके लिए चीजों को दिया जाएगा. ठीक है. तो चैनल इस इवेंट के साथ में जुड़ना ना भूलें. सभी लोग इस इवेंट के साथ में जुड़ें. Okay. So what is the revolution? Next is the what is the revolution? Literally, the meaning of the revolution is moving or revolving around the anything. What is the revolution? Revolution is the motion of any object in which object is moving around the any center place or the any central body or central object, and that is the revolution. In the context of the earth, revolution of the earth is also revolving, and the central place is the sun. Central place is the sun. Earth is revolving around the sun. So earth is revolving around the sun. So there you can look the difference here. Rotation, earth is moving on its axis, and revolution, this is the sun and earth is moving around the sun. Okay, so what is the meaning of the revolution? We should know about this revolution. Suppose this is the sun. If this is the sun, earth is started to revolve. Earth is revolving around the sun. And this is the Tropic of Cancer, equator in the Tropic of Capricorn. The revolution of the earth, the direction of the revolution of the earth is anti-clockwise. There are only two planets, Venus and Uranus, which revolve around the sun into the clockwise direction. Otherwise, all the planets of the solar system, that means remaining 6 planets, revolve around the sun into the direction of anti-clockwise. Suppose earth is revolving around the sun in this manner. If earth is revolving around the sun in this manner, then to being a planet, there is a necessary condition. The path of any object, if any celestial object has the fixed revolutionary path, that revolutionary path is called the orbit. If any celestial object has fixed revolutionary path, then it is a first criteria. Then it is the one of the criteria to being a planet. Okay, so Earth is also a planet. That is why Earth is also has a fixed path. Okay, Earth is also has a fixed path, and this fixed path is called the orbit. This fixed path is called the orbit, and this shape of this orbit is elliptical. The shape of this orbit is elliptical shape. That means Earth is revolving around the sun into a fixed path, that is called the orbit, and the shape of that particular orbit is the elliptical shape. Okay, elliptical shape. And this motion is called the revolution. And one revolution took the duration of the 365 days plus 6 hours. How many hours? There are 6 hours. Exactly, the data is 5 hours 56 minutes. But we consider this into the 6 hours. Okay, so Earth take one revolution. Earth take the duration, or the Earth take the time to complete one revolution, that is the 365 days and the 6 hours. 6 hours means 1/4 days. This you can write this 1/4 days, and that is why the total duration of this is 365 by 1/4 days. That means this is the revolution time period of the Earth. And we calculate the 365 days in our calendar, and the 1/4 days, we calculate the 1/4 days after the 4 years into or as a complete day. After 4 years, 1/4 days completed into the 1 year, 1 day, and then after 4 years, we consider it as a 366 days. Okay, and this days is terms as the leap year. That is why leap year is always happen after the 4 years. Okay, if this duration would be the, you can say if it is 4 hours, then the leap year will always come after the 6 hours. It would be the 8 hours, then the leap year is also always come at the end of the 3 years. Okay, So 365 days, 6 hours, and this is the duration of the revolution. And the direction of the revolution is anti-clockwise. The direction of the revolution is anti-clockwise, except the two planets, which is the Venus and Uranus. These two planets revolve around the sun into the clockwise direction. Clockwise direction. Okay. And suppose, what is the revolution? Revolution is the motion in which Earth is revolving around the sun into a fixed direction, and the direction into the fixed direction and fixed path. The direction is the anti-clockwise, and the path is called the orbit, and the shape of that particular orbit is a elliptical shape. All points are important points. If Earth is revolving around the sun, one time this phase of the Earth, that means the northern section of the Earth will the northern section of the Earth is in the front of the sun, and the southern section is comparatively far from the sun, and that is why this hemisphere will experience the summer, or this hemisphere will get the maximum solar energy, and that is why it experiences the summer situation or the summer condition. So there is a summer season, and at the same time, meanwhile, this hemisphere will experience the less solar energy, and that is why this will experience the winter situation. Okay. After a certain time period, when the Earth reaches at this position, the sun rays falls perpendicularly at the equator, and that is why both hemispheres will gain the same amount of the energy, same intensity of the solar energy, and that is why the temperature of any hemisphere is not so much high or not so much low. So temperature of both hemispheres is equal, or you can say the moderate temperature is found, and this is called the spring situation in the southern hemisphere, and this is the spring situation in the southern hemisphere, and the autumn situation in the northern hemisphere. So in the spring and the autumn, there is no high temperature or low temperature. There is a moderate temperature is found in this situation, and that is why because sun falls perpendicularly into the equator. So northern hemisphere will experience the autumn season, and the southern hemisphere will experience the spring season. When the Earth reaches at this position, sun rays falls perpendicularly in the southern hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere is relatively near in the front of the sun, and that is why this hemisphere will experience the more solar energy, and that is why this solar hemisphere will experience the summer season or the summer season. And relatively, the northern hemisphere is the far away from the sun and is in the back side of the sun, and that is why this hemisphere will experience the winter season. This hemisphere will experience the winter season. This hemisphere summer season, and this is winter season. And we are living in the northern hemisphere. We live in the northern hemisphere. So in the we experience the winter season in the you can say December, January. Okay. And when the sun rays falls and when the Earth reaches at this position, sun rays again falls in the central part of the Earth, that is on the equator, and due to this falling, both hemisphere will again experience the moderate temperature, and in the northern hemisphere this is the situation, or this is the season of the spring, and in the southern hemisphere this is the season of the autumn. This is the season of the autumn. So when the Earth is revolving around the sun, due to the intensity and the amount of the solar radiation, solar energy variation, seasonal changes or the seasonal change is occurring on the Earth. So we can say the seasonal change is happening. Seasonal change is happening due to the rotation as well as the tiltness of the Earth. This seasonal change is happening on the Earth's surface. So this is the revolution. This is the revolution. Sun rays falls perpendicularly on the Tropic of Cancer on the 21st of June. 23rd of September, sun rays falls perpendicularly on the equator. and the 22nd of December, sun rays falls perpendicular on the Tropic of Capricorn, and on the 21st of the March, sun rays falls perpendicularly on the equator again. Okay, so 21st of June, when the sun rays falls perpendicularly on the equator, this point is called the summer solstice. Summer solstice. When the sun rays falls perpendicularly on the Tropic of Cancer, this situation, this condition is called winter solstice. When the sun rays falls perpendicularly on the equator, this situation is called the equinox. So what is the equinox? Equinox is the situation when the sun rays falls perpendicularly on the equator, and this always happens 2 times in the year, on the 21st of March and on the 22nd of September. What is the winter solstice? Winter solstice is the situation or the condition when the sun rays falls perpendicularly on the Tropic of Cancer, and it always happen on the 21st of June. And what is the winter solstice? Winter solstice is the condition when the sun rays falls perpendicularly on the Tropic of Capricorn, and it always happen on the 22nd of December. So this is the situation, this is the different things you should know about this. So 21st of June, 22nd of the December, 21st of March and 23rd of September. Okay, what is the summer solstice? What is the winter solstice? What is the equinox? So equinox, you should know about the equinox. Okay, this is the situation. When the sun rays, when the earth revolving around the sun, due to the elliptical path, suppose this is the sun. When the earth revolving around the sun, due to the elliptical path, one point on this orbit is nearest to the sun. One point that is located on this orbit is nearest to the sun. So this is the nearest point. And if Earth is reaching on this point, then the distance between the Earth and Sun is nearest. And this situation, this condition is called the perihelion. This condition is called the perihelion. And it always happens on the 3rd of January every year. That means on the 3rd of January, the distance between the Earth and Sun is nearest. And at the same orbit, the distance between the Sun or the point on the orbit, one point, which is the farthest point. Okay. So distance between the Earth and Sun is maximum at this point of the orbit, and this situation is called the aphelion. And it always happens on the 4th of July. It always happens on the 4th of July. So what is the perihelion? What is the aphelion? Aphelion is the situation when the distance between the Earth and Sun is a maximum, and it always happens on the 4th of July. And what is the perihelion? Perihelion is the situation when the sun rays, when the distance between the Earth and the Sun is a minimum, and it always happens on the 3rd of January. Okay, next, the one term is also related. This is the perihelion, and the aphelion is related to the Earth and Sun. The important term which is related to the Moon and Earth. As Earth is revolving around the Sun, same as Moon is revolving around the Earth. So when the distance between the Earth and Moon is minimum, the distance between the Earth and Moon is minimum, then this situation is called the perigee. This situation is called the perigee. When the distance between the Earth and Moon is maximum, maximum distance, this situation is called the apogee. So apogee and perigee is related to the Earth and Moon, and aphelion and the perihelion is related to the Earth and Sun. Okay, understood? So look this diagram. This is the diagram of the revolution. This is the diagram of the revolution. Okay, guys. So in today's session, we discussed this thing. I hope you understood that thing. If any doubt, you can ask your doubt in your comment box. And please download the Exampur official application and register yourself on that particular application with your mobile number or email ID. Okay, so we will meet in the next session and the next chapter. Read the NCERT books because NCERT is the basic book. And if you have any doubt, you can ask your doubt in your classroom as well as in your offline comment box. So we will try to remove your all problems related to your study. And this channel is completely dedicated to the person or the aspirants which are preparing for the civil services examination in the English medium. And from morning to evening, this channel is engaged to help you in your examination, to help in your preparation. Okay, so please subscribe this channel, this YouTube channel, share this video as much as possible. Okay, so we will meet in the next session. Thank you so much.